You mentioned in your opening remarks having worked in the district attorney's office and having prosecuted some child abuse cases and those kinds of things. What was your position on Jessica's Law? I know there was a lot of debate back and forth about whether we should go with a version that Representative Polito had put out there, whether it should be the version that eventually passed, which was worded a little bit differently. What was your position?
I was supportive of Representative Polito's version. I think it was a good tool that prosecutors could work with. It engendered some heated debate. But I think the bill that passed is a good start, and we can see where that will go over the next year or two, and then maybe come back. What people need to realize, and I think they do, is the legislative process is an ongoing thing. These things aren't the Ten Commandments Moses coming down from Mount Sinai. These are things we can amend and change in the next legislative session if it's brought to our attention by the prosecutors that it's not a tool that's working well for them. But I think it's a good start. There's no greater treasure in our society than our children. And we need to do whatever we can to protect them.
Are there any other questions for Representative Naughton?
On behalf of one of our committee members, I need to ask this question. There has been talk about retesting seizures, when they get to a certain age. How do you feel about that? What's your position?
The question is about retesting drivers over a certain age, whether or not that should be mandatory.
I think to make it mandatory is ageism. I think if people are driving fine, they're fine. They don't need to be retested. If perhaps we want to talk about setting up some type of mechanism where they bring a note in from their doctor at a certain point. But I haven't seen a great need for that, for mandatory testing of people at any certain age, and I think that makes them a suspect class. I don't, that's like testing people, and I don't have mine on, Lance does, but saying, well, okay, you wear glasses, so you should take a test every year too. So no, that's sometimes less law is better law, and that's one of the instances.
Final question from me. On my way to work every day, I drive down Water Street in Clinton, and they have been having construction there all summer long. Do there need to be 2 police officers there directing traffic, essentially through your neighborhood to get around Water Street, or can we replace them with flagmen? And either way, well,
that's a collective bargaining issue right now for the town of Clinton and its police union. So to an extent, it's actually a question for the people of the town of Clinton. The governor has proposed a bill that would make some initial modifications in that, maybe instituting flagmen on lower traveled streets, on areas where the speed limit is below a certain level, and I think that's a good start to start implementing, to start examining the situation. What I think the people should take away from that, though, is on public construction jobs, I don't know if the flagmen are going to save much money because of the prevailing wage having to be paid. The flagmen may actually be making close to what the police officers are making, and they won't have the public safety benefit of being there. So I'm willing to give the governor a chance and watch and see where his new regulations that he's implementing this week are going, and then maybe examine it in the new legislative year.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'll let you have the final word.
Lance, thank you. It's been an honor to serve the people of the 12th Worcester District for the last 14 years. And as I said, actually it's been, other than being a husband and a father, it's the greatest honor that I've ever had. I've been pleased to take part in landmark pieces of legislation, like the McNamara bill, providing death benefits for survivors of call and volunteer firefighters that are killed in the line of duty, which didn't exist before, of resolving and continue the fight for the historic rights of the town of Clinton and the Wachusett Reservoir, for representing the people of Sterling in the discussion over the Weeki-Peeki and the fixing of those dams in the Washacum Village project, and getting those people back to a very good quality of life once that project is finished. There are many, many examples. The Muddy Road Bridge project, the Route 140 fix-up that is coming up, that we've been able to advocate for and have success for this district. But it's not over, and there's a lot left to do. We didn't, surprisingly at all, Lance touch on health care tonight. The House of Representatives was able to come forward and insure 855,000 people, 8% of the Commonwealth, this past year. And that's the first stage of health care reform. Every person in this Commonwealth is going to be insured. But it's going to cost a lot, as we found out very quickly. So now we're in the second stage. We're in cost containment. And we've passed some transparencies in trying to reduce costs and trying to find ways to pay for this health care. And I want to continue that. I want to use the experience. I want to be there to fight and use the experience that I've had for these past several terms in the Ways and Means Committee to fight for our communities, to get our fair share when we revamp local aid. But most of all, I want to continue the fight for the people of this district. As I said at the start of this, my judgment of my work is whether or not it would be good for my kids, my wife, for my family. And if I can say that each day, then I know it is for the rest of the 42,000 people of the 12th Worcester District. My dad, before he passed away, had said, integrity is what you do when no one's looking. I try to live up to that standard every day. So I'd like to respectfully ask the people of Sterling and the entire 12th Worcester District for their vote on September 16th and help me keep up this good work. Thank you, and thank you, Lance.
Thank you, Representative Naughton.
Appreciate it.
We also want to thank the First Church here in Sterling, the rest of the Sterling Democratic Committee, the members of the audience, and all of you for watching tonight. And please make sure you get out to vote on September the 16th on primary day. Thank you very much.